I did a post today where I posted a picture of the black box. And again, if you've done time, you know what this is because you've been transported. You've been transported with cuffs on your wrists, cuffs or shackles on your ankles, and you've been in a situation where you were exposed to this black box. And let me tell you something, comments went crazy. Comments went crazy because everybody remembered. Well, and if they didn't, they were automatically reminded. And it's things like that, little things that stick out, things that stick out more so than others in our journey of incarceration, of being behind the wall. That black box, and it wasn't just the fact that it was on your wrist, it was the fact that oftentimes it was there for hours while you were being transported from prison to prison, unable to scratch your face. See, it's not always the immediate thing that you think of when it comes to prison. Sometimes it's the other things, it's the subtleties. You know, being shackled and having just wanting to itch your face, scratch your face, not being able to. Your mobility is hindered because of the cuffs. It reminds you that you are in confinement, that you are locked up, that you are in prison, that you are no longer free, truly free. Nas, what's going on, brother? You're reminded in those moments. You know, it's one thing, again, to be in the cell. It's another to be in the cell and you're shackled, wrist to waist, waist to ankle, black box over the cuffs. Incarceration is a very, very unique experience. It's an experience of desperation. I think that's what it is, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I think it's an experience of desperation. Anya, I gotta check him out. I gotta check out who Larry Lawton is. But man, I'm always down to collab. I've done some collabs with some great brothers already, man. Um, it's a thing of desperation because in prison you are pushed to your limits. You're placed in a situation that you would never voluntarily go if you had knew what it was prior. For the most part, some of us do repeat. But when you're in prison, you start to understand just how fragile everything was. And you're forced to look back at everything that you've done in your life because now you have the time to. When you're free, there's more distractions. And in prison, there's distractions as well. You know what I'm saying? But in prison, it's a little bit more quiet. You know, you're not going to work every day. You're not worried about certain bills. You're not XYZ. So you have more time to reflect. And it's only natural you start to reflect on all the things that you did, the decisions that you made, and what led you up into you being in that prison. And some of us, we process that information while we're on the inside and we use it as motivation to become better. But some of us, right? Some of us, we don't get it. We're in prison and we ignore it and we don't process what got us there, and we go back home and we live the same way and we expect different results, but then we end up right back in prison. One of the most daunting things that really it messes with me at times is when I go back into certain prisons in VA where I did my time, and some of those brothers that went home are now back in there. It's one thing to see the brothers that never got a chance to go home. You know what I'm saying? But it's another thing to go back to a prison to talk, to speak. Tim, what's going on, man? And then I see brothers that had went home when I did, and now they're back. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Somebody said, do the OG. Check them out at 9 p.m. Eastern. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said I need to start doing lives as OG. No, they said battles. I said, I don't know. I'll think about it. If y'all got questions, man, please put them in the chat. My name is Christopher Life Willers, man. In 2003, I was sentenced to 144 years in prison. True story. Oh, my goodness. I promise you, you can look me up. I'm very visible. I'm all over the place. And I just want to say, when I say I'm happy to be here, I truthfully mean that because it wasn't guaranteed. My actual sentence was 144 years, all suspended, but 19. I had to do 85% of that, which was I ended up doing a little bit more. I would have went home in August of 2019. I came home in January of 2020. But the rest of the time is there. It's part of the sentence. It's over your head. If you've ever been sentenced in prison, unfortunately, then you know that the numbers are real, man. If y'all got questions, though, man, please put them in the chat. I'm also a certified peer specialist in mental health. I'm a mentor, man. I help people. I build programs, reentry curriculums, because I want to see my brothers and sisters that come home from prison stay free. Stay free is not just a catchy slogan. It's not just a motto. It's a call of action. I've written workbooks, how to stay free, a guide to reentry success for you and your loved one. Very proud of that. That's getting into the prisons now. That's getting into the hands of the loved ones that have people that are coming home from incarceration. So I'm grateful for that. And I also wrote 144 Prison Pain and the Pathway to Freedom, man, which is my story about all the stuff I really faced while doing 17 years in prison, all the stuff that I can't necessarily talk about, up here and all that, man. Kibo, I see you, man. I appreciate it. Somebody said do a battle as OYE. I think I am going to do some battles as OYE, man. If I can get enough people, maybe if I schedule the battle, then we'll do it like that. I don't want to just show up as OYE and be with the glasses all crooked and like 0 people in the room, man. I need y'all rolling with me, man. Tim said, crazy thing is your OG. Let me see what he said. Crazy thing is your OG character reminds me of my guy that took me under his wing, man. OG is a reflection of, man. He's a reflection of a multitude of OGs, man. A multitude of individuals, man. Shout out to you, Tim. I see you, man. Certified recovery peer specialist. Let's go. He's a representative of a multitude of those OGs that are behind prison walls that may or may not ever go home, but yet they're still trying to make the world a better place, man. Men like that exist. Women like that are behind those walls do exist. And that's why I'm on a mission every day to take back the stereotypes or the narratives, so I can rewrite those stereotypes or overwrite those stereotypes, however you want to say it, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Markski, I see you. Kibo, Eyeball, I see you, man. I'm really focused on being a voice too, also for the loved ones of those people that have people incarcerated. I got plenty of brothers and sisters that aren't able to be heard right now, but also I'm representing the mamas and the kids of and all that, man. Because it's real. Prison doesn't just impact the individual that's behind those bars; it impacts the family as a whole. And no, we're not asking for sympathy; we're asking for empathy. What is that? That's understanding. That's it. Not saying prison doesn't need to exist. We're not saying monsters don't exist. I know they do. I'll continue to say that every time I'm up here. I was housed around some. Yeah, you need prison. Some of them dudes need to be kept away for good. But it's a large majority of individuals that you often don't see or hear about that deserve second chances, that should be given an opportunity to get home. You know what I'm saying? And contribute to society. There's a lot of people behind walls right now that are contributing to society. My brother, Jefferson Ellie, Poetic Life for Law, he's got an organization called We God. Orchestrates community events like I don't know what. Like he's out there and he's not. He's been locked up for 27 years, man. And there's countless brothers, man. So, shout out to everybody right now, man. If y'all got questions, somebody said, do I still drink Keefe? Listen, if anybody got to ask me if I still drink Keefe, y'all ain't locked in enough with me on the content, man. No pun intended, man. If y'all got to ask if I drink Keefe, I'm just saying. Miss Shaka, what's good? Y'all already know what it is, man. Somebody said, I heard that a man loves us less if we wait and support them while they are in there. Is that true? I don't know, Meredith. My wife and I met while I was locked up on a phone call, on a 20-minute phone call. And that was in 2017. I didn't come home till 2020. We got married in 2019 in the visitation room. And she's over there in the living room, retired, holding my son, which is both of our first child. We've been married over 6 years. What I will say about what I see when it comes to most relationships, prison relationships, most of them don't last. But then again, maybe a lot of relationships just don't last. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that do last are really strong. That's what I will say. It wasn't always easy for me and my wife, but we got it. We continue to work on us. We continue to choose us. We continue to choose family. We continue to choose progress, not perfection. And here we are, man. She's in the living room, man. We getting ready to watch some TV, Appreciate y'all, man. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Happy Wednesday, Miss Shaka. Y'all already know what it is, man. How does pretrial work? It depends on the state. And I'm not legal or law, and I don't want to give any misinformation, so I don't really chime into legal questions. I'll just give my perspective on things that I've saw occasionally. Pretrial just works different ways depending upon the state. You could be on probation. I mean, excuse me. You could be on bond. Out on bond, etc. While on pretrial, you could be not given a bond while on pretrial, and then they use a sentencing guideline. Typically while you're on pretrial prior to you getting sentenced, if you get sentenced, to determine how you'll be sentenced, which is something you can have a conversation with your lawyer about. Just a little information. Aaron, what's good, my good brother? Aaron Pilar, man, make sure y'all show him love. We did some skits. We was out there in Vegas with my brother Amir, Second Lap Media. Make sure you check him out. We got a podcast dropping tonight. We going in 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. But man, we did some skits out there in Vegas. Took y'all through some prison scenarios. We keep it light though. It's serious, but we want it to be light. And the reason is not to water it down, but we want to be able to give y'all in a way that y'all will take it. So it'll be educational, a little bit of entertaining, but you'll get it at the end. You'll be like, oh, we did one about me stealing in prison. Don't steal in prison. You'll see why. Right? What's good? Somebody said, my man did a few years. He's one of those dudes that deserved another chance. Got a lot of good people, man. There's a lot of good people behind those walls, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Tim said, respect, spread the love, brother. Love and community is a cure to all. I believe that most certainly. Hope all is well. All is well. Thank you for asking. Griffin Sullivan said, love the skits and your message. I appreciate that, man. Kibo, I see you. Keefy is instant coffee. It's just instant coffee. It's good instant coffee. It's good instant coffee, man. People are like, yo, you shouldn't be talking about the coffee. Listen, man, it's a very real experience, and if you did time, you can relate. That's what I'm talking about, man. Somebody said it's all about what you are willing to sacrifice to make it work. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big CJ, I appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that. I'm just trying to use my voice. That's all, man. Here we go. I'm trying to make sure we can get this. That was a good comment. I don't know where it went. Somebody was dropping a good comment. Let me tell you something. I was really locked up for 17 years, so I'm still learning how to work this. Somebody said, would I ever consider being a paralegal? No, I would never be a paralegal. I almost went to law school. Funny story, but I would never be a paralegal. I'm just an advocate and an activist, I would say. OG Marcelli keeps asking about my spokes. What does that mean? I have no idea. Different states got different slangs, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on an Oscar nominee for our group. Hey, listen, we need our Oscar nominees. If anybody wants to nominate me, Aaron Pila, or Second Lap Media for Oscars, please just tag us and the Oscars. You could also tag any, major movie studio, etc., just so they know that we're here. We're just, we're acting like we've gone mad. Denzel and the boys ain't got nothing on us. Appreciate that, Kibo. How you doing? I almost went with the howdy right there, man. Hannah Ruby said, it's sad. I've heard people doing 15 years for stealing a jumper. Yeah, things happen. 3 strike rules in Cali, different places, man. And depending upon if you're a habitual offender and you're going in front of the same judge, blase, blase, blah, it definitely can pose issues upon sentencing, man. That's why the judicial system's not uniform. It's not level. That's what the issue is. As far as the OG, I'm doing 7 years starting next week. I'm 20. Any advice? Here we go. Advice time, man. If you're getting ready to do time, and I hope that you're not, I want to be clear. But for my people that may be facing time, I want to be specific. There's some cardinal rules that you got to live by in order to be successful in that environment. And yes, you got to find a way to be successful. What is success? That means you get home. That is how you're successful. Anything other than that is you're not successful in that environment. But while you're in there, if you can avoid the politics, Avoid the politics. Do not join a car. Do not just volunteer. Do not, if you can go solo, go solo. Now, I'm not saying you can or can't. It's dependent upon the system. Where I was at in VA, you most definitely could. You could. In certain systems and states, you cannot. Or if you do, pray. Right? The next thing is, outside of staying off the politics to your best ability, is do not go into debt. Learn to go without if you do not have it. Do not ask anybody for something that you want, because anything outside of what you don't have is a want, not a need. I promise you. The other thing is, man, see, but don't see, hear, but don't hear. Don't ever talk about it. Pay attention to your surroundings. Be super observant. Learn to be super observant in that environment. Pay attention. Don't just start interacting with people and hanging out with everybody. Don't be that social butterfly, man. I promise you don't want to be that. You know, you want to be reserved. You want to be respectful. You want to be assertive, not aggressive. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You're not pushing nothing in nobody. People are going through stuff and you trying to give people, hey, man. Excuse me. It's about respecting an environment called prison. The other thing is, man, no gambling. Don't get on the tables. You got to learn to be bored, but hopefully you're not, because you've got time to work on your physical. So you should be working out every day. You got time to work on your mental. So you should be in the library, the law library, trying to get home, the library, reading self-help books, books on psychology, learning a second language. You should be taking the opportunity to do that. So when you come home after that 7 years or whatever time that you're in there, you're better and not worse, and your time has value to it. Don't just be the guy that plays cards all day or you're on the rec yard every day. Learn while you're in there. Prison is a college for some. I know an individual that never bought a TV. All he did was buy books for 22 years. He's home now. He's now wrote 5 books. He travels the country as a motivational speaker. I can see where he was going back then. I get it now. Prison is a place where what you put into yourself is what you will come out. And you got an opportunity to do that. Somebody said, my man get out in November, and I'm scared because sometimes when we talk, it sounds like he's on something. CJ, mental health support is key. If you got a loved one getting ready to come home from prison, mental health support is key. Make sure you find them mental health support. If your loved one has a history of struggling with addiction or substance use, whatever, make sure there's recovery support in place. Make sure that. Research, message me, whatever it is. Get connected to therapists, support groups, clergy, whoever it is that's going to be supportive, that can help your individual. But mental health is something that's very serious when it comes to an individual coming home from prison. And if an individual is struggling with something, it may sound like they're on something. Typically, they're sounding like they're on something because they're struggling with something mentally. Typically, it goes hand in hand. So you got to get them support. And then they're coming home from prison, high-level PTSD, anxiety, all these other things, and you're not the answer. Sometimes our loved ones feel like they can be the answer, the solution, the support that gets us through it. And the answer is no, you can't. You can be a type of support, but if you've never been in an environment, then you'll never know. There's just certain parts of the equation you can't help us walk through or process. That's why it's important to get your loved ones connected to people that have lived experience. I'm a certified peer specialist. There's a couple other ones on the live or whatnot. Certified peer specialists are individuals that are formerly incarcerated that are mentors to people that are coming home. Find reentry programs as well. Find support around them, man. Build that prior to him coming home. You know what I'm saying? Get a calendar of events, resource fairs, community event, whatever it is. Get him in these positive environments so he can see. He got to wash all the negativity up out of there, man, and fill it up with positivity. And it's real talk, man. It's work. And you got to be patient, too. You know what I'm saying? The baby, what's going on, Bree? The baby is doing good. I'll send you a picture. I got to send you a picture. I'm so tired. I forget everything. But he's about 11 pounds. My son was born at 33 weeks, 5 days. He was early. He said, I don't want to wait, and I don't want to keep y'all waiting. So he came. And he came home at 35 weeks. Any of the parents in there, man, y'all know what it is. He came home at less than 5 pounds, 4 pounds, 13 ounces. He's like 11 pounds now. So, man, he's like two of what he was. It's a privilege and an honor to be a dad, man. Freedom Fighter said, "Oh my God, I can't believe bro is doing live. Love your videos, bro. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the support, man. I do try to go live every day. I'm not consistent with the times. I think that's the issue. Somebody said, yo, you got to be more consistent with the times. And I apologize. I'm back working now. I was out in Vegas with Second Lap, Aaron Pilar. We were doing content. We were doing interviews. And then I'm headed to Ohio this week to go speak at London Correctional Facility. And then I'm a first-time dad that doesn't sleep, and I'm all over the place. Oh, my goodness. Now, but I should try to lock in a time for the lives. I think that'll make sense. If there's a time that y'all think I should lock in, put that in the comments, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all already know what it is, man. Is there any questions that y'all got? If so, please put them in the chat. That's part of why I go live. Probably the main reason, because I want to support the people that support my message, support my content. And what I say all the time is, for anybody that really doesn't understand the magnitude of it, I get messages every day from young people, older people, whatever it is, that are leaving the streets, that needed the support, that needed to know that they weren't alone, whatever it was. And I'm grateful. I can't always answer them all. It's just impossible. But the reality is, the only way the message gets to these people is because you guys interacted with the content. Y'all liked it, shared it, etc. So I appreciate y'all. And I just wanted to say that, man. And y'all are blessings, man. I appreciate that. Great ZC, I see you. Kibo been showing love today, man. I really do appreciate that, man. Really, really do, man. So, check it out. One more before I go. I'm getting ready to go watch TV in the living room. I was just thinking about when you're at the jail and you don't have your own TV, and you got to share a TV with people, and they're trying to watch something you probably don't want to watch. Or if you are, you can't hear it. Or I remember the little boxes that they had so you could listen to the TV with your radio. Oh, my goodness. Traumatizing, man. So I'm grateful. It's the little things. Sometimes you got to reflect. Sometimes you gotta sit back and say, man, I'm glad I made it through. Because that's the reality. We made it through, man. So all my people that were formerly incarcerated, I see y'all. I love y'all. As I always say, man, stay free. Old Timer once told me, he said, time is the most valuable thing you ever have. Once it's gone, you'll never have it back. So as always, man, I appreciate y'all time. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all sharing the message, supporting the content, everything else, man. I appreciate y'all questions, comments, everything else that y'all bring to the table, man. We got a lot of work to do in 2026, man. And most importantly, man, let's keep going. Let's keep growing. And like I said, man,